Entering the Summer Olympics, most people predicted a rematch of the Beijing gold medal game. The United States will meet Spain, and that's exactly what we'll get this Sunday after the U.S. took care of Argentina in a semifinal on Friday, while Spain handled Russia. Hi, I'm Brian Clark at CineSport. For more, we join Chris Sheridan. He's the editor-in-chief of SheridanHoops.com. Chris, first of all, the U.S., a tight one, but they pulled away late over Argentina. What do we learn about the Americans?
Well, I think, Brian, it's the same thing we've learned about them over the course of this tournament. When they are raining down threes like they did in the second half against Argentina, they're an unbeatable team. The only team that's really played them close into the fourth quarter was Lithuania. Coincidentally, that was the only game in which they couldn't hit from outside. But they got so many weapons from outside, from Kobe Bryant to Kevin Durant to Carmelo Anthony. When they're knocking down threes, they can't be beat. And I think one of the keys against Spain will be how Spain defends the three-point line and whether the U.S. shooters have it clicking or not.
Spain beat Russia in the earlier semifinal, as we mentioned. What do we learn about the Spanish in that game?
Well, boy, a lot. You know, they only scored 20 points in the first half, Brian, and 20 points is, you know, a number that Team USA can get to in the first 4 minutes of the game. But that's the thing about the Olympics. Every single game is different, and what happens in the first half doesn't necessarily have to carry over into the second half. And I think that's probably the #1 thing we learned about Spain. They came out in the third quarter, and they scored more points in the third quarter by a lot than they did in the entire first half. And they got Russia on their heels, and Spain looked definitely like the team that wanted it more. Look, Spain is able to bounce back. They've lost twice in the Olympics. You can't count them out. There's too much NBA talent on that team.
People remember 4 years ago in Beijing, it was a very good gold medal game between the USA and Spain. Should we expect the same this Sunday?
Well, there were 225 points scored in that game, Brian. It was 118 to 107, and it was a tight game with 3 minutes left. It could have gone either way. Look, this version of Team USA, in my eyes, is better than the team that went to Beijing 4 years ago. That being said, anything can happen in a Game 7 or in a 40-minute one-and-done game. And I think the key for Spain is going to be two things. They've got to switch up their defenses and keep the Americans guessing. And we saw some of that from them in Barcelona when they played in a friendly. They would go man one time down, zone another time down, man, different zone. So they have to keep the Americans guessing, and then they have to use their height advantage. And they're going to have to be able to hit threes at pretty much the same clip as the United States is, and hope that the United States is only hitting them at about a 30 or 40% clip. As we've learned from, you start back in 1972 in the Munich Olympics, the fourth quarter of a gold medal game, when it's tight, crazy, strange things can happen, and it makes for entertaining basketball. It'll make for a good finish for the last day of the Olympics. So hopefully we get a close one.
It was the game basketball fans everywhere wanted to see, and they'll get it on Sunday. Chris Sheridan, editor-in-chief of SheridanHoops.com. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Brian.